Hello, listeners. Welcome to our episode for this week on the Naked Coach Collective. We are talking about balance in your life and balance in your loves. So sometimes we might find that the things we love are not the same to the things that those we love. Wow. Did that make sense? That came out right? Yeah.
I think it made sense, yeah.
You
I
fall in
think
love
it did.
with someone, but you realize that actually they love doing things that you don't, or the other way around. So we're going to discuss this, what you can do, ways to identify and move on and grow in situations like that. So, Ian, hello, how are you doing
Hello.
today?
I'm all right. Bit warm, but I'm all right. How are you
Yeah,
doing today?
I'm good too. Thank you. Nice of you to ask.
I wonder where you're going with that.
No. All right. Okay. So let's think about but in terms of coaching, this life balance thing it always comes up, doesn't it? So you've got a coach, you need to find balance in your life. But balance could mean so many different things. And if you are somebody who is in a loving relationship, who is with someone they want to spend the rest of their lives with, or foreseeable future, and you find that you are enjoying different things. So what do you think? Let's think of some scenarios first. So, to get the listener thinking about what might be relevant in their life, perhaps. So, Ian, any ideas?
Well, I got quite a few.
Yes.
That applies specifically to me and my partner.
Who's not listening, by the way?
who's definitely not listening, thank God. Never does. So I love traveling. So I went traveling for a year back in 2012. And I want to continue to go traveling. So on my list is Australia, New Zealand, South Thailand, Vietnam, all those kind of places. And she's not interested one little bit. Not only that, but will not get on a plane, will not get on a boat, and just will not leave the country basically. So yeah, that's a kind of big one because I have to. I have to.
Okay.
There's no two ways about it. I have to do that at some point.
Wow. Okay, that's a strong way of describing. Not like I would like to, or I think that's what I really want. You have to. Okay.
Mm.
So let's get a bit of background. Okay, so you've been together quite a few years.
When I got back from traveling, so 2013, so 12
Okay,
years now.
right. So you're committed. You're committed in your relationship. Okay. And how long has this been something that's been on your mind as a potential point of conflict? Conflict. Maybe conflict's not the right word. Sorry, but a point of a separation, difference.
I mean, we were talking about it whilst I was still traveling. So we were in communication whilst I was still traveling, and the only reason I came home was because I ran out of money. Otherwise, I'd have been off. So it's kind of weird how that happened, and then we got together and whatever. But yeah, it's kind of she knows because I set an expectation that I am going to have to do this someday, right from the very start, because if I didn't, I knew it would be a point of contention and conflict potentially. And also that I don't want to put her in the position to feel like she's telling me I can't do something. And I don't want to be in a position where if she doesn't want me to do something and I don't do it, feeling so strongly about it that I do that I end up then resenting her. So it was like nipped it in the bud right away, and it was, I'm going to do this. It's just a case of when.
And how was that received?
Fine, I think.
What did she say to you? You know, you're in the early stages of a relationship. You've met recently, or did you know her before?
I knew it beforehand as well. Yeah.
Right, okay. So you knew each other, and you got to this stage where you thought, right, okay, we're actually interested in each other. And then he dropped this bombshell on her, and so you said this to her. What sort of things?
Is it a bombshell though, considering I was already traveling at the time?
Well, I mean, already traveling at the time doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to spend a fair amount of time traveling in the future.
I suppose.
So let's try and understand this. So you said this to her, and she said what?
I can't remember. It was that long ago. I can't remember what I had for dinner yesterday.
All right. So how is this?
It wasn't. I remember it not being an awkward conversation or anything. It was just like an interesting conversation, and she was interested in what I wanted to, where I wanted to go, and what I wanted to do.
So are you sort of quite independent people?
Yes.
Yeah. So that helps, doesn't it? So you've got your life together, and you've got your life individually. So
exactly, yeah, and I'm obviously constantly going away and off into the mountains as well on weekends and stuff like that. So that's another thing I have to do.
Yeah,
I can't not do that because that is my peace.
So what's essentially happened over the years is that you have negotiated together to find this equilibrium. And this equilibrium of you going off at the weekends, or for your 2 or 3 days hiking, mountaineering, whatever you're doing, you found this through mutual respect.
Yep.
You care about her, so you care about what she wants, and she cares about you, so she cares about what you want, and you're making yourself happy and satisfied by going and hiking at the weekends, and she gets a sense of satisfaction from being okay with that.
And doing her own things as well. It's not just a one-way thing. So she's got her own things that she does as well, which is absolutely go and do those things.
Okay, so what happens when you want to go to Australia for months?
Oh, it wouldn't be anything like that. So the only place I'd do like months, probably a month, 2 months tops, would be New Zealand. The rest would be like 2 weeks.
Okay.
Holidays, but the proper month, 2 month would be New Zealand. I'd go and just hire a camper van or whatever and drive around for a month or two.
And how would you like her to share that with you?
Absolutely, I would. 100%. But she's not interested at all. And like I say, we'll never, ever get on a plane. She probably needs a coach to help her.
Is there a fear or a phobia there, or just no, doesn't want to?
Oh, yeah. Big time. Yeah. Threatened to knock her out to get her on, but...
There are people who can help her with that, right?
yeah, won't have those conversations with them anyway, so...
So are you sacrificing some of what you would like because she won't entertain the idea? I'm only playing devil's advocate, just sort of putting in. Do you feel like it's a sacrifice, or?
I do, because if it were, I'd be gone all the time. I'd be like, every year we're going somewhere. And it's not that we don't go anywhere now. We obviously go around the UK and what have you, which I'd still absolutely love. But I'd love to be able to take her places to like Norway, which is...
Well, isn't that your dream final home, is your lakeside house? by the mountains and
Well,
the
it'll be in the Lake District or something, but
UK.
Norway itself is just honestly, D. It's so
Uh-huh.
hard to describe. It's just I should just sit there and just stare at the place for the end until the end of time. It's such an
Oh.
incredible place. If you like mountains and water, it's just unbelievable. And then a cruise ship comes along and spoils it. Well, that's the only. I think that'll be the only way I'll get back to Norway. It's on a cruise ship.
Well, I was going to say you'd probably be on one of those cruise ships, won't you? So,
Yeah, I am. I am
right,
getting old, so
so I'm going to dig, right? I'm going to keep digging here, because if you say, yeah, you'd like to go somewhere different every year. You met 12, 13 years ago. What's to stop you getting resentful at some point in the future?
um,
What have you got in place here?
because I know the one thing I want to do more than anything is New Zealand. The
Yeah.
others, like I was saying, Australia and South Thailand, I'd really like to do them, but it's not I have to do it. New
Mm,
Zealand is I have to do it.
mm.
So if
And
I
can you?
didn't do that, then I would maybe be a little
Mm,
resentful. But she's okay with me going
yeah,
doing that, so it's just not going to be a problem.
yeah. Are you a happy solo traveler, or would you
Oh
get
God,
yourself?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love it
Okay, that's good. So
because I've got the freedom then to do whatever I want and go wherever I want
yeah.
without listening to anybody else and thinking of what they want all the time. So yes, whilst I would absolutely love her to come with me,
Mm,
100%, the fact that she's not is not going to ruin it for me because
mm,
I love traveling on my own as well. So when I went traveling with two friends, I did a lot. I wandered off on my own all the time.
yeah.
And there was times where I was gone for days on my own. So I did like a section of the Pacific Crest Trail. I did that for like a weekend whilst they went off to, I think it was, where was it? Was it Reno or something? Maybe I can't
Mm.
remember. Near Lake Tahoe. So yeah, I just went off and did my own things all the time.
Oh, fine.
So I love it.
So would you say that even though that you've got this major difference in what you love, what you both love, or what you don't love, would you say that you're in a place of harmony?
Mm. Yeah, and I say that because it's hard to explain. There's it's not that I'm trying to think of how to explain it. Bear with, caller.
Happy medium. Um,
It's just a case of being it's happy with the fact that we're it's hard to explain that we're each okay with doing our own things. So Nicola's
yeah,
got her own things as well,
yeah.
and it's like I don't take
You
any
don't want to
interest in
join up.
in that at all. Um, but I think that's kind of good. I'd rather it be like that than us both be 100% into exactly the same things because then I don't know.
I like that. I think you know what, having separate activities and things that you love actually can make the time that you have together more special.
Mm.
You choosing, that you're both choosing to have that time together, and you respect each other for having other interests, and you kind of, it's probably that you may have more things to talk about, or you don't
Yeah,
lose.
exactly. It's like when I was off in where was it? I went to Buttermere, did a hike around Buttermere. She made that
Oh yes.
whilst I
Oh,
was off hiking.
over again, I think we missed it. Was it the bear?
The bear there, yeah, the little hiking bear. She made that whilst I was off hiking.
For it's a was it a crochet or a
Yeah,
it's
crochet, yeah, and
Crochet Bear, right? If you're listening to
Maybe that Loch
YouTube,
Ness
yeah.
monster for whatever reason.
She's really creative, right? So she's really creative.
Oh
And
yeah, my place is just full of like cross stitches that she's made me. So she's made me one of. This is my favourite one. It's right next to my desk.
oh, wow. Right, jump on YouTube, everyone. This is amazing cross stitch of Norway. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that you'd made that because I've seen it on your wall before.
Yes, it used to be behind me on the wall, but I've got it there on the
Nice.
desk.
Okay. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Right. So what do you think couples or, someone who's in a relationship with someone, and they've got a difference that can't be resolved as amicably and as harmoniously as you and Nicola have got your head around, or around this. For example, one person wants to spend hours and hours and every evening on their business. Maybe they're a new startup, they're working really, really hard, and the other person in that partnership wants to spend time with them. What do you do? Because time is something that isn't, we only have a finite amount of it every day. What sort of things can we implement here? Because you guys have obviously got this thing licked, right? So
Well, I mean, it's not perfect. Nothing is, but I get where you're coming from with that question, especially because obviously, I mean, we're kind of doing that, right? Working on our businesses on the evenings and weekends and whatever. So there's that element to it as well. I think
yeah.
from my perspective, conversations. So initially, I didn't really tell Nicola what I was doing. I just said I'm trying to create something. I didn't really explain why or what it was. It was just a case of trying to create something so that we have a better life in the future. That was pretty much all I said. But that was because the only reason I said so little about it was because I was scared of failing and being a failure in her eyes. But what's helped now, because there was maybe a little contention about the amount of time I was spending doing it. But what's helped now is the fact that I've told her and gone through with her the process that we go through in the program of what is your dream life? What is the life you would love to live? I've taken on board her side of it as well and that kind of thing. So it feels more of a joint thing.
Okay.
And so she understands what I'm trying to work towards
Yeah.
more from not just so we have a better life in the future. It's like, okay, well, what does that look like? So I think it's having an understanding of why you're doing something, but having that open, honest conversation around it. My camera's really doing my head in.
Don't look at it.
I'm going to throw this laptop out the window. For me, it's about that. Having an understanding of why you're doing something, having that open, honest conversation, but also there needs to be a recognition that this is, it takes time and it takes sacrifice to be able to get to that. There's this quote that I heard, which is, you have to be willing to, you have to be willing to sacrifice what 99% of people will never sacrifice to get what 99% of people will never get. Right?
Yeah.
So there is a bit of sacrifice that has to come into it, and so it's just conversation, just having an open and honest conversation.
Definitely.
And don't get me wrong, it's not always going to be. So there'll be a case where it's clashes, and I'll be like, yeah, but I need to do this, this, and this, and it's like, yeah, but we let's spend a weekend together, kind of thing.
I think a
But
lot of
she's very good at kind of pulling me back.
when you've done
Because
too much.
I do get kind of zoned. I
You
do
have a
get
bit of
zoned
tunnel
in on
vision,
things.
don't you, sometimes on
I do,
things?
yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Tunnel, yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it's good that you
She's
have her
very good
to
at pulling me back in and
but
keeping my feet on the ground.
you have a strong foundation of respect and of understanding of each other. And even I think a lot of people will resonate with the fact that one person is working a lot more than the other. And what you touched on, and you said, just sort of explaining, telling what you're doing and why you're doing it, but also that having such a true conversation to let the other person understand that you're kind of You're doing it not just for your own well-being, but for both of you and your family, whatever your situation you've created for yourselves. And if I think it's very difficult to, as a person who works in the evenings when my partner might want to watch TV, or if he hasn't got any work to do, we might, sometimes he might say, oh, what time are you finishing? And I'll say, oh, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9, whatever time, and then go on a bit longer. And it happens the other way around as well sometimes. But I think the understanding comes from thinking, okay, let's have a reality check. This is probably the second or third night this week, and give a little sometimes when you can, and bear in mind that one person can't always be right and one person can't always be wrong. So that it keeps coming down
That's
to
good.
respect, that communication, that respect. So the one partner's just working all the time, the other one is fed up of being on their own. What do? Like you say, you talk. You explain what you're doing rather than just saying, I'm just building something. I'm working on my podcast tonight. I'm working on my coaching tonight. I'm working on preparing lesson plans, like when I was a teacher, or if he does, or whatever. So really be specific about what you're doing, and in an environment where there's mutual respect, the other person is more likely to understand. Now, that can't happen all the time,
No.
right? That can't happen all the time. One person understanding and stepping back, it cannot be the same person all the time, because you'll end up with you'll end up with resentment. You'll end up with what's that emotion? You're always giving up something and you feel it's resentment, but there's another word for it.
I know what you mean.
Pissed off.
Yeah. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah, so it's a balance, right? So this is where we come into our title of balance between life and love. So where do we go from there? Where do we go from a standoff? Let's put ourselves in a standoff situation.
So there's, to avoid that, I mean, you may get to that, and if you do get to that, I'm honestly not sure the best way to handle it, because I've not got to that. But what's helped not get to that, which might help when you do get to that, God, is setting clear boundaries and rules with each other that you both respect. So I do this podcast on a Monday evening. Once a month, I'll have a week where I've got a bout of interviews for my other podcast on weekday evenings. Once a month, on a weekend, I'll work solely on the business. But there's gaps then for the rest of the time. So it's about creating the rules and boundaries that you both respect and want. There's a compromise there.
That's the word, isn't it? It's compromise. It's compromise. But that I find, we get to this stage where we've touched on like being a people pleaser. Sometimes as a people pleaser, you might be the only one always doing the compromising.
I get you.
Examples in the past, like with other friendships. Actually, I'm thinking of a friendship I had years and years ago, and she was a very good friend of mine. We were in our 20s, living in London, going out but she always used to make plans. And sometimes she would even go ahead and buy tickets for concerts and things without even telling me, and that sort of thing. And it came to, and I'm very easygoing, but it just got to a point where I realized, it wasn't a sudden realization, it was a creeping realization that actually, you know what, I'm not really getting what I want. I'm happy to go along with it, but I feel now that actually I'm just doing what she wants all the time. And it
Mm.
became why am I just not sacrificing, but just letting it happen? It wasn't for an easy life. It was a good friendship, but it was a case of I didn't assert myself for a long time because actually it was fine. Everything was fine. And then it got to a point where when I did finally need to say something, I wasn't very well equipped to do it. In fact, I kind of sort of said, right, that's enough, and just, it caused a bit of a stink on the whole situation because, oh, well, hang on a second, you can't just go ahead and make these plans for me. And it sounds a bit juvenile, but we were in our 20s, it was juvenile. So, but I think for a person who wasn't that confident in my early years to speak up and say, I'm not happy in a friendship, a relationship, whatever it was, I needed to learn not to go completely the other way. So, I mean, I've lost touch with this girl. We lost a friendship over that because I kind of just said, no, enough. And she was so taken aback by me standing up for myself, that the friendship didn't survive it. It just didn't survive it. So, it was and so now if I were in the same situation now, I would be just asserting myself. And I do think I'm a people pleaser. So I would just be asserting myself slowly. Hang on a second. Yeah, I'd love to go with that. But really, I need you to ask me before you make the arrangements. I need you to discuss with me if I'm free or not. And this sort of thing. Just slowly putting your boundaries in place. Because I just didn't know any other way to deal with it at the time. I just had to just flip. But you know what? Maybe it had to be that way because she may not have understood if I'd been gently, softly, because I'd been so compliant for so long. Anyway, that's a little bit of my history.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? Because it's such from one extreme to the other by the sounds of it. I imagine it was quite a bit of a shock for her.
Yeah, she was like, whoa, okay, yeah. But it had to happen because, I was growing up. I was growing up, basically. And these boundaries are, unless you are, I don't know, most people are able to do them, but I think there's a big group of people out there who are very difficult, who find it very difficult to say no, put boundaries up, while still maintaining a harmonious, respectful, interchangeable relationship. But
Yeah,
these are things
it's that almost looking to avoid conflict at any cost, isn't it? Despite the fact that it'll probably be for the benefit of whoever that conflict is with, for you and them. And I know, I can say now that shocks me that you used to be that person. Shocks me that you used to be that way, because in our kind of interactions that we've had over the past couple of years, not once have you ever been like that. So whenever we've had like a conversation as a group with like B as well and Sarah and Ashley, and someone's had an idea about something and we're in discussions about going one way, and you've not, you can tell you're looking at you on the screen and you're like, but then you actually say, no, I don't agree with that. I think how about we do this or that? But that's for the benefit and better of the group.
Yeah, and I wouldn't just let you guys go on about it for the next 2 hours and then on the WhatsApp message after.
Oh yeah, he cut us off straight away. Nope.
No,
Nip that in the bud right now.
I've learned, with talking to lots of people, just develop, and it's a maturity thing for me. And I'm not saying that if you're 20 you don't have the maturity. That's certainly not the case, but it was for me. It just took me a little bit of time to grow up. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not as mature as you think you are.
No, well, no, I'm actually still not. I'm not as mature as my years would suggest. Suggest.
I went on a work.
I don't ever want to be, by the way, either. So
I know. Yeah, me too. I was at a works do thing the other night, and we were in this bar, Blues Kitchen.
Oh,
It's
nice.
great live music, blues music. Loved it in there.
Yeah.
And then we moved on to this other bar, and it's the kind of place I would have gone to when I was at university. And I was in there for 5 minutes, and I was like, "This is awful." I was
Yeah.
like, "What is this absolute trash?" It's like, get me out of here. Not only that, but I felt like an old man because I was looking around. I was like, "Oh, kids, get
Yeah.
out."
See, you have to
It was
choose where to go when you
felt
get to.
weird, and so I just left everyone. I was like, "I'm sorry, I'm not being in there."
Oh, you mean you left your friends?
Yeah, I left them to it. I just went back there because I'm not.
No.
No,
But they didn't say, "Oh, all right then, Ian, let's go back to the blues place or let's go somewhere else." No, they just thought, "Sod that off
no,
and
they
go."
carried on, and
Nice.
that's absolutely fine as well. It was just, yeah, it's just like I'm sorry, I'm not staying here. This is awful. This is absolute trash.
So you're saying, right? So there's an element of how you assert yourself, right? So what we're coming on to here is how do you assert yourself without losing a relationship? You obviously can do it a whole heap better than I could back then, right? So you need to let your needs be known, and you need to be willing to step back, step away, and get on and do it yourself. Is that what you're saying?
I think if you're not used to doing it, it can be very difficult. So I never used to be like that. So when we were kids, I won't go into it, but yeah, grew up without a lot of confidence, and self-assuredness, if that's a word. Thanks. Just gave me the thumbs up. Well done, Ian. So it used to be really difficult for me as well, and so I used to be quite shy. And apart from when I was with my friends, then I was just a nightmare. But anyone knew I was really shy, quite timid, that kind of thing. So I used to be a struggle, but I joined the army cadets when I was younger. That kind of forces you to speak up for yourself. And a couple of other things. So at uni, I joined a rugby league team, played a bit of football as well, and so sports really help get that side out, bring that side, that confidence out in you, in terms of giving yourself a voice, because it's about being part of a team, and you're holding yourself accountable, but you're holding your teammates accountable for their errors and all that kind of stuff. So that kind of really helped develop my point of doing my own thing and making it known what I want and what I don't want and what I stand for, what I won't stand for, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so now it's kind of so natural to me, because I can imagine it comes across to some people, if they've never done it before, the first couple of times they do it, they'll probably do it in probably a bit of an arsey way,
Like me.
like you did.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's just like that example. Then it's just like, oh, guys, I am not staying here. This is absolute trash. Have a good night. I'm off. And that was it. That's literally it. There's nothing more to it than that. And it's a conversation with Nicola when I was about traveling. It's like, I have to do this. There's no two ways about it, and I am going to do it at some point.
Mhm.
Is what it is.
No, that's really true. So we're introducing another element now here, aren't we? We're talking about confidence and self-confidence. So the self-confidence to be able to take yourself out of a situation and be by yourself if you really can't take it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's more relevant for, in a friend's relationship rather than in a romantic relationship, right? So, but your as your confidence grows, and certainly was this case for me as well, as your confidence grows, your ability to assert and ask and say what you want also grows. So if you have two people who are in love and they've both got high level of self-confidence and they both want different things at certain times, not all the time, because obviously there's something there that's gluing them and gelling them together. How do we work on this, on their long-term vision of their relationship? So what I mean by long-term vision is, if they really have fundamental differences in what they want.
Well, I think they've got to. So, two things. I think they've got to find a compromise with each other as to meeting in the middle, just meet halfway on doing things, but also the fact that give each other space to allow each other to do those things on their own as well, because otherwise it's just going to end up in my eyes, there's no other way it's going to end up other than resenting each other.
Yeah. And I
Oh, she
don't
won't let me do that. Can't do that.
know. And that will end up in resentment, especially that, okay, rather than she won't let me do that, rather than saying she doesn't like it if I do that and I choose not to do it because I choose to make her happy.
Yeah.
So you can flip that back to giving yourself the control in that situation. So if you choose to do what she wants to do, you are essentially doing what you want to do because it makes you happier for that moment than going and climbing a mountain, because the joy that you have created in her reflects back on you.
Yep.
And so that brings me on to another point I wanted to ask. So sometimes you do what they want, sometimes they do what you want. Does it have to be 50-50? Does it have to have a sense of equality? Does it have to be equality? Or, do you have to have that equalness to have harmony? Or can things be weighted?
I don't know. I think from a personal perspective, I'd feel unfair if it was weighted in my favour. I'd feel like I was not respecting Nicola or that boundaries and that kind of thing. So I feel like I'd be disrespecting, and yeah, I'd feel like it was just unfair if it was weighted in my favour. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because also you're coming at it from a real subjective viewpoint as well, because you're both looking at one thing, but with two different perspectives. So you might think, well, not you personally, but just a couple. One person might think that actually they are sacrificing, giving in a lot more than the other person thinks that they are. So again, I think we come full circle round to conversation.
It 100% is, and the worst thing you can do is in my eyes is avoid that conversation.
Yeah,
because it will just fester. Everything will just fester and just be blown so out of proportion. Things will get blown so out of proportion, and then that'll lead nowhere good.
Yeah, and if you discuss something, and actually, if you want a relationship to work, we are different. We are all different. We want, Julian actually really likes watching horror films, and they terrify me, and I never watch them. And so we have to find he over the years he doesn't watch them now. He would never even suggest let's watch anything he knows is going to freak me out and scary. So but he does like to also watch foreign language dramas, crime dramas. And I know foreign language ones, and so I sit there and I watch them with him sometimes because, and actually they are really good, but I don't really enjoy, I wouldn't choose it. I like mindless stuff like Death in Paradise because I just
I like that. That's pretty good. I like Death in Paradise. It's funny.
It doesn't make you think though, does it? It doesn't really give you. It's just nice. It's just and on the blue skies and the sea, and it just
exactly.
So we have a difference there, but because he doesn't push on that other point, I kind of think, okay, let's just go with this. It's all right, you find that balance. So you give in a little bit to each other and find that happy medium.
Well, me on like just on TV and what have you, when we're watching it at night, we've got like a balance there as well. So perfect example. At the minute, I'm watching Cross on Amazon Prime.
Okay,
it's based on books by, I think it's John Grisham, Alex Cross. Nico's not bothered by it one little bit. Does not want to watch it. So I'll watch it when she's like gone to bed. But
Right.
before that, we'll watch what we both want to watch. And oh God, I do worry if someone came in and watched our like recorded programs, they'd be like, "What are these two freaks doing?" Because it's just like crime documentaries and stuff like that.
Oh gosh, okay, that's a whole new
And
episode.
darts. We do like we like watching the darts. So random.
All
Darts
right,
and crime.
that's a crime. Okay, there's a connection there somewhere. Oh dear. Right. Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to add on the subject?
Just sort of thought we'd probably be talking about traveling a bit more than we did, so I'm a little disappointed. I want to tell you everywhere I went. I've been there. I went
I've
there.
been there. I've been there. I've
I
been
went
there.
there.
Okay, so listeners, we're going to do an episode on Ian's traveling
Ian's travels.
and experiences at some point. Yes, we will.
And that actually is one thing that really helps with my complete wanderlust is talking about it. And Nicola hates talking about it. It's so funny. So when we first started going out, when I got back, I was like, "Oh, I've been there. I went there. No, I was doing that." And she was like, "Oh, yeah," for the first couple of weeks. And then it was like, "Well, shut up now. Can you shut up about it? Don't want to hear it anymore." So now it's stuff like this and my other podcast, which is all about adventure and traveling and all that kind of stuff. It's my part of my release of the wanderlust.
It's your outlet for it.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're all substitutes for Nicola.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic!
Because you don't want to listen to me.
Oh dear, I suppose. Yeah. What's that? One man's poison is another man's gold, or something? Is that
something like that? Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, as a closing point, right? As a closing point, you have a situation where your potential for conflict. You want different things. I think the question to ask when you make a choice together, and you've probably done this without even thinking, does this decision, does this choice that we're about to make together or we're making together, does it allow us both to grow? So you saying what you need for traveling, she's accepting and's got her own things to occupy her mind and time and energy. So it allows your decision allows you both to grow. If one of you is saying yes and another one is saying no, then you've got a bit of an imbalance there, and that needs figuring out. And hopefully you can figure it out. Hopefully these things can be figured out. But communication is key.
Absolutely. That's my kind of final thing on this is
mutual respect.
Don't avoid potential conflict, because 99% of the time it won't be conflict. You're just hyping it up to be more than it is. But that 1% of the time it might be conflict. But it's like, so as an example, where Nicola works, there's certain people that, by the sounds of it, take the piss quite a bit. Not Nicola, but just in general. I'm sat there and I'm thinking, oh my God, how is anyone getting away with this? How is no one just saying, "Oh, can you just leave me alone to do my work, please?" It's like, it's as simple as saying, "I'm busy right now."
Yeah.
That's it. But people won't say anything because they're scared of that potential conflict.
Yeah.
I'd have a field day in there by the sounds of it.
Maybe her company needs to hire you to go in and coach.
Just go in and, not coach, but just go in and tell people to pipe down.
Just go tell them what to do, right?
Yeah. But I suppose that maybe come out of my kind of role as PM as well, is that I had to tell people, manage and tell people. Prime Minister, yeah. That's what Nicole thought it was, by the way. When I said I was going to become a peer.
Prime
Minister.
Prime Minister.
What a lunatic. But yeah, basically, it's planning and telling people what to do and managing people. So you always having difficult conversations. So it becomes a very good skill, and you're quite enjoy the difficult conversations when you get to a certain point. Kind of look for them.
I'm not at that point where I look for them now, and there are still certain people in my life with whom I don't really want difficult conversations, but I do feel that I'm better equipped to deal with difficult conversations without causing conflict now. So,
And you don't have to be a tosser about these things. It's like
What?
these examples I was giving from Nicola's work, where it's like, no, sorry, I'm just a little busy at the minute. I'll get back to you. That's not being a tosser. It's just saying I'm busy.
Mm. And you're at
You
work,
know?
so the likelihood is that you're
Yeah.
going to be busy, right? You're actually
Yeah,
at work.
exactly. You don't have to be a tosser about setting boundaries and what have you. Just be respectful
Mm. Yeah.
and just let people know that that's the situation.
Mm. And you know what? Back to relationships, if you're in a long-term relationship and you've got a shared vision, then you've got to talk these things through. Because if you really want it to go in the same direction for the long term, it's so difficult. It's so difficult to have a long-term relationship that goes on till the end of both of you these days. You know, there's so many things that can make that very difficult. Lack of communication is something that you can avoid. So, jump in.
Nice.
Nice. Nice.
Nice.
Well, I
Well,
really enjoyed
it didn't go as where I thought it was going to go, that conversation. I'll be honest. When we marked traveling down as the agenda for the content, I was like, yes.
You did. All right. Well, okay. You are in control next time. Okay. Not that I was in control this time. You know, we are not a dictatorship here at the Daily
Oh,
Post.
we are. Oh, we are. Yeah.
Ian
She's
is in
not
charge.
like what she
He's
said
the
she was.
youngest out of all. You are the youngest out of all of us, and you're like
I
the
am.
granddad. You're like everyone's granddad.
I am. It's funny how that comes across. It's so funny. I feel like my body is now starting to finally grow into my personality.
How lovely! I'm delighted for you.
Yeah, me too.
Right, let's wrap this up. Come on, it's been lovely chatting. Go.
Always a pleasure, Dee.
Always a pleasure, Ian. Always. It's time to say until next time. Be there
Be bare
and
and be naked.